Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to some more Skinner shenanigans. So today's video is just going to be quite simply me doing some wrenching and just kind of talking to you guys, one enthusiast in the RC world to another. I'm not going to be spending a lot of time watching the camera, just generally talking as I wrench. We're going to talk about, mainly RC stuff, but there might be a few other things I decided to talk about. Anyone's wondering the canine walking around me behind me, that's my canine Dax. Definitely give him a like, and if nothing else, give him a subscription because he deserves it. He's a good boy. So, what I'm working on right now is a Losi LMT. I'm kind of excited to be working on it right now because I'm actually replacing the garbage plastic front axle housing with the T-rail axle housing. Finally came available. I was able to get my hands on them. I've had the rear housing for about 2 weeks now. A really great axle. As you can tell, it's super dirty. Took it out and bashed it. Had a really good time bashing this thing with aluminum housings. You're definitely not afraid to send this rig as a monster truck. Should be sent. Doing some great freestyle with it. Ton of fun. Really love it. I even put MIP drive shafts on mine like a boss. So yeah, love MIP drive shafts, guys. I recommend you get them. They're very, very versatile. So yeah, good thing to have. I just realized I made a boo-boo. Oh well, we'll have to fix that. I lost my pins that are holding my wheel hutches on for my J concepts. I'll find them in a minute anyways, but yeah. So the T-rail axle housings are available. If you're out there looking for them, you can pick up a set. They are definitely heftily spendy compared to that of a plastic axle housing. So personally, my recommendation is if you have the patience and are able to wait for the redesigned plastic axle housing that they're saying they're making, I won't believe it till it's the shelves and is available. But I have seen pictures, obviously, of other YouTubers and Facebook posts saying that it's a thing that you definitely can't do that. However, I actually had another YouTuber channel that I watched, and someone left a comment after I left a comment about the junky axle housings, and they said that they actually zip tied their axle housings, and that is a good idea. I personally didn't try, but I think it might help the problem. Obviously, you're going to have to do a few of them. You'll probably have to do 2 on each side of this where it kind of bows and flexes. It might help. I mean, if Gorilla Glue and whatever putty goop glue they're using on these axle housings work, I imagine a simple zip tie could help as well. So yeah, guys, I definitely recommend, if nothing else, if you're going to buy this rig, give that a try. You never know. Might be the greatest thing since sliced bread. Might be the dumbest thing since I was born. But besides that point, never hurt to try. So give it a try. Let me know if you try it, because I'm really curious about it, because I'm going to be super annoyed if I spend a lot of money and I could have just bought a package of zip ties, which I already own. And that would break my heart. But anyways, more power to you if you do it and get it right the first time, unlike me, who just has to have the fancy upgrades. Hence the always broke RC. So yeah, guys. Also, while working on this RC, the axle housings, there's a lot to getting them off. They're not just as easy as pull off 4 screws and remove the body. I'll tell you that much right now. And if you have, when you are replacing the axles, I highly recommend a power tool. Don't be like me, using hand tools. Hand tools are cool and all. Got this great Savox 2mm tool I'm using right now. But yeah, I recommend a power tool on these LMT axle housings because there is a lot of hardware to be screwing and unscrewing. And yeah, we'll be here a little while communicating with you guys. Hope you're alright with that. This is going to be a longer video, but I have nothing else to do. I figured it's a good Tuesday night to be making a YouTube video. Sorry about any noise in the background. I'm just playing some Raid Shadow Legends. No, I didn't get paid to say that. I just generally enjoy that game. So I've got it on auto battle. because that's how I game. I don't have time to do it. I just let the computer do it for me and then take my rewards and run with what I get. Obviously, I don't do very good at the game, but don't tell anyone. So, anyways, guys, also in the world of monster trucks, if anyone's wondering what one RC I wish I could get my hands on that I don't have my hands on that I would give my entire collection for, that's definitely a Primal RC Raminator. So if you're watching this, Primal RC, send me a video on how to get one acquired from you, and let's talk about some good sponsorship, and I'll go make some great video for your Primal RC Raminator. Oh yes, that would be a lot of fun to have, guys. Me personally. I mean, granted, I might need another hand to help me pack it around when I break it or whatever, but yeah, no biggie. We'll start a business, get paid to carry around RCs. Who would do that job, honestly? Would you get paid to pack RCs around for someone else if they paid you good money to do it? I probably would, especially a Primal RC Raminator. I might have in my contract that I'm required to drive it periodically for them, but no biggie. So yeah, Primal RC. I doubt you're watching this video because I know you're not subscribed to me, but who knows, maybe someone will link it to you and you'll hear the shout out that I would love a sponsorship for a Primal RC Raminator and that we could have a lot of fun making some good YouTube content, advertising your Primal RC 49cc Raminator. Yeah, that's actually what I got my body somewhat looking like. I went with the good old Dodge body. Obviously, for me, Dodge being in Wyoming is a big thing. It's more of a Western culture truck. So, whether it comes to rodeos or drag bulls or whatever else, Dodge has been a big influence in my life. So, I went with the Dodge body and, like I said, like the Primal Raminator, and so it was just a nice fit. But yeah, you guys, I'm just using a Proline body. So you can use a Proline body on the LMT roller. It is a little short, so as you crash and bash, your Lexan body will break. Which is another point I want to bring up. If you're watching this Proline, which once again, I highly doubt you're watching this because you're not subscribed to my channel, which you should be if you're not. But that's besides the point. If you're watching this, definitely click the like, subscribe, and leave a comment. But you should be making a brute body for the LMT because some of us like to bash our monster trucks hard, and sometimes we crash and burn, and we need that brute body for the LMT, Proline. You're missing out on good money. I'm just saying, my hard-earned dollar would definitely go to buy one. I already have an X-Max brute body, and I love it. Best investment you can get for an X-Max, hands down, guys. Don't let anyone tell you tires or ESCs or bigger cans or RPM plastics. Nope, just go buy a brute body. Best investment ever. So, yep, Proline, get it done. Make it for me. And then send me one so I can test it out. And we can talk about a sponsorship deal for that as well. So yeah. Also, while we're on this topic of X-Max, I'm very sad to say, guys. So I rebuilt my X-Max. By the way, guys, I don't refer to my X-Max as a X-Max. It is referred to as Sex-Max. So if you hear me say Sex-Max, I'm talking about my X-Max, because that's just what it is. It is a great machine. Let's put it that way. We'll leave it at that. Leave your minds clear the gutter. But yeah, anyways, rebuilt Sex-Max, and sadly for me, I am unable to get tires for it. Yeah, so I rebuilt it. I went and sent it. Did a great big old backflip. Blew out the stock Traxxas 8S rated X-Max tires, because Sex-Max definitely is not stock. And blew the tire clean out. It was a lot of fun while it lasted. Only got 3 cents on it after rebuilding it and blow a tire. So I was like, well, easy enough. I'll go down to the hobby shop. I'll get some new tires. The tire I want to get was a Duratrax Hatchet X tire. I already have 2 on the rear. I just needed the front. Obviously, when you have an X-Max, you're talking like $100 per tire kind of thing. And so I bought one set. I didn't buy the other set because I'm an idiot at the time, and I should have bought both sets. Well, now I can't get the Duratrack Hatchet X's. So, sad to say, X-Max is still down. Even after I rebuilt the front end, put a nice fancy parts in it, and I can't drive it. But I do know that when I do get it back up and running, still ripping, still destroying, not breaking on the first send, unlike the LMT. Sorry, LMT, you're just not the same as an X-Max. So, but once I upgrade your axles, you'll be as good, if not better, than X-Max, because everyone thinks that the solid axle monster truck life is where it's at. Right, CCXRC? I know you're also not subscribed to my channel, and you should be. Yeah, that's a call out, CCXRC. Subscribe. I'm subscribed to you. But yeah. Anyways, if you haven't seen his channel, I don't care if he's subscribed to me or not. You should be watching his channel. He's got some really good content on his channel about the LMT and solid axle monster trucks in general. But yeah, guys, I am a huge fan of solid axle monster trucks. Obviously, it would be a dream to be able to drive one and actually get all 4 tires off the ground. Pretty jealous of all you monster truck drivers out there in the world. You have a job that less than 0.3% of the population ever gets a chance to do. So yeah, Dennis Anderson, you're a lucky guy. So anyways, solid axle monster trucks rule. And like I said, I know I'm rambling as I do this, guys, because this is the best way to wrench and create a YouTube video. Is just to ramble as you're pulling things apart and don't remember where all the screws and hardware go back into. But that's a story for another day. I got to get a new axle housing first. But I do know right now how to disassemble the garbage plastic axle housing, so that's what I'm doing. And while I do that, I just ramble on. But yeah, guys, solid axle monster trucks, I just think are great. And for me, as much as I love the LMT and stuff, I think it's great for portability reasons, obviously. But I personally am a 1/5 scale guy. I have the Super Baja Ray, an X-Max, an E-Revo, things like that. I'm just into the bigger RCs personally, and I'm into the 10th scale because of the crawling world. But if I could have it my way, I would definitely like to make sure that the market has a solid axle monster truck in 5th scale like the Super Baja Ray or the X-Max. I think that would be really nice to have. I don't think we need a $3,000 Primal RC Raminator premium truck. I get that obviously you get that much into really any 1/5 scale you get into. But you know, it'd be nice to say, well, I put $1,000 into it when I first started, and that's how I got my hands on it, not $3,000 right off the bat. But yeah, so if any of you RC builders out there making 1/5 scale solid axle monster trucks, more power to you. Keep it up, make a business out of it, and I'll probably buy one from you. Which, once again, make sure you comment down below where I can buy me a 1/5 scale solid axle monster truck. That, now remember, you got to beat the price of the Primal RC Raminator if you're going to do it, because that's a really hard deal to beat, because that looks like a very impressive deal in my personal opinion. I mean, you're talking $3,000 for a bunch of aluminum. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good deal. And you're getting a gas motor. Oh, and you're getting the biggest tires in the RC hobby. If anyone knows of anything bigger, let me know, because I'll let Primal RC know that they don't have the biggest tires and they need to keep growing their monster truck tires even bigger, because bigger is always better. So yeah, that definitely could be a thing. Which is another topic I want to talk about, because X-Max doesn't have tires, and the reason I like the Duratrack Hatchet X tires is because they are, first off, a belted tire, which I think belted tires are a must in the bashing world. Anything with a lot of power, just go with the belted tires, just straight up. Don't even think anything other than a belted tire if you're going to bash and do top speeds. But besides that fact, I like the Duratrack Hatchet X's because they have a really as close as you can get to a monster truck tread pattern on a 1/5 scale RC. So for me, that's just a huge thing that I would like to see in the hobby, is more tires with a monster truck tread pattern. And even so, I wouldn't mind seeing, like I said, J Concepts or Proline to come out with, like I said, an X Max tire that is like a monster truck. I know a lot of people went after the Losi tire that looks very monster truck. I can't remember what it's called, the MTXL monster truck, whatever Losi made, that had big monster truck tires. And I know guys would put them on their X Maxes and still do, and it looks amazing. And I think the reason it looks amazing is because it's got the monster truck amount of rubber, and it's got that chevron tread pattern. And I just think that's something that anyone who's into monster truck appreciates, is just that pattern. So I would like personally to see that in the hobby, of getting an X Max tire that is like a J Concepts or a Losi LMT tire, something that just has more of the monster truck feel. So Traxxas, if you're watching this, get with the game, make monster truck tires that look like monster truck tires. See, I think that's one thing when I first got in the hobby. I mean, I like the E-Revo because the giant tires. Obviously, the small body just kind of makes the tires look even bigger. And I got one of those. But then after I bashed it a couple dozen times, I was like, well, I'm breaking the hell out of this thing. And so I decided not to stick with my E-Revo, and I decided to upgrade to an X-Max, because I watch people bash and send those things like nobody's business, and they hold up. So I got an X-Max. If anyone's wondering, I got a X-Max roller, and from that roller, I had to put shocks on it, I had to put tires on it, ESC, servo, all that good stuff. So I built my X-Max just like it was a freaking kit. Highly don't recommend it. It's not very cost effective, but it is a lot of fun too, because you just buy one part at a time and you build as you go, and you get the rig that you want, not the rig that Traxxas thinks goes fast or Arma thinks goes fast. No, you're making the rig that you know that you think goes fast and that you were satisfied with. I spent a lot of time looking into parts I wanted for my X-Max, all that kind of stuff, and just really enjoy it. So, yep. Yeah. Alright guys, well, my axle is all disassembled. It's off. All I gotta do is pull a drive line tomorrow, and then I gotta get this axle, put it all back together, and we'll be rocking some great T-rail all aluminum monster truck axle housings that actually look like monster truck housings. I really do like that. Also, I was noticing last night there is another company somewhere in China or something, I don't know, but they're also making a LMT axle housing. It is available. They're wanting like $300 as well for their aluminum housings, which I just think is the going price for aluminum right now. So if you're wanting axles, and let's say T-Rail sells out, go check on eBay. There was another company, I don't remember, I didn't look into it, I just saw it come up also on my listings, because that I spend a lot of time on eBay looking for axle housings when my rigs are down. Because me personally, guys, nothing bugs me more than having a rig that is down and not usable. I hate it. Like, why do I have big money into this RC and it's not drivable? Oh, it just bugs the living daylights out of me. I don't mind if I break an RC and I have to wrench on it, that's one thing. But when it's down, oh, it just is a mental thing for me where I'm like, no, you cannot be down. I have too much money invested in you. You must go back to work. You know, I'm kind of like that good old-fashioned boss. You're required to show up to work tomorrow and be ready for work. I don't care if you're drunk, hungover, or anything else. You're expected to come to work, do the job, and go home, and come back again tomorrow. That's pretty much me with my RCs. So, yeah, don't like them being down. Don't like parts not being available. So, Horizon, I'm calling you out. Try to get parts availability, because there's a lot of stuff you guys are out of. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't care if it's in plane world. I don't care if it's in car world. Quit blaming it on COVID. People are working all around the world every day, going to work, making a product, and I think the supply lines are just jacked up. But I'm not going to blame you, Horizon. It's a little out of your control, but I do know that you're working hard to get your supply lines back up, which I do appreciate. And also, Horizon, while we're on this subject, this morning I watched Harley Design's video that Red Cat's raising their pricing, and I understand everything's going up. Gas just went up 9 cents in the last day here in Utah, which is stupid, but whatever. You gotta do what you gotta do. So if you have to raise your prices, I understand, but do your best to try to keep them low. Just keep you super popular in the RC hobby. Alright guys, while I've got this off, I'm going to show you where I broke it before I go disassembling it. That's where the breakage occurred. Try to give you guys the best look as possible. Like I said, I'm not very good at this camera stuff. But broke right around there. But this was after several good sends, and I mean good sends because I had the aluminum housing on the rear and I'm fearless at that point. And so I started to send this and got several big hits off this, and eventually it broke. Because we know why this breaks. 3 pieces suck. 1 pieces or 2 pieces rule. So anyways, but like I said, they know that this is thin chintzy plastic. They're reinforcing it and should be sending me an upgrade. Just to upgrade, and if they do, I will definitely be making a video of putting plastic axles back under my LMT, and I will bash and bash and bash them and try to break them to make sure that the redesign was worth it. But yeah guys, I mean, overall it is what it is. Like I said, plastic's bound to break when bashing, you know. So but as long as you're having fun while doing it, that's really what counts. If you go big and go home, you better go home with a smile on your face. If you just go home because you rolled a rig down a hill and it breaks an axle, hence the axial rift. I think they should have called it the axial rift. Then it's not as fun. But like I said, with the axial rift, guys, I am hill climbing them. I'm not using it for like trying to make a crawler out of it or anything like that. No, I'm pointing and shooting straight up a hill. It's pretty darn steep and just wide open, and you know, I'll get a long ways up there, and for it to roll down as many times as it might, I expect a breakage. But once again, I just had a YouTuber make a video on aluminum axle housings for the Rift, and they're supposed to get back with me and leave a comment on how to get a hold of some aluminum axle housings for the Rift. And who knows, maybe Vanquish will get around to that as well. I don't know. Maybe Vanquish just likes making SCX 10.2 and SCX 10.3 axles and doesn't care about making Rift axles. I don't know. But if you do, Vanquish, hit me up because I called you out on it. And give me a good deal on a set, and I'll buy some. I'll be the first person to rock some Vanquish axle housings under my Rift. Really though, it's bottom line, it's just any aluminum housing under the Rift. I kind of had an epiphany about kind of how I drive RCs and what I expect of them. And I feel like I just treat them like they're real vehicles. And in order for them to be real vehicles, they need to be made out of real materials, not plastic, actually metal like they are in the real world. And so I think that's kind of what my new standard is going to be. If if it can be basically as realistic of an RC as possible, which means aluminum axle housings, beadlock wheels, scale motors, scale transmissions, whatever it is, I'm going to try to go down that road. I just, like I said, I'm hard on my stuff, guys. Not many times does my stuff not get broken. I mean, you hand me a brand new RC and I'll probably break it. So, but like I said, I know that sounds all like I'm the worst driver ever. I'm actually a pretty decent driver, I like to think. At least that's what I've been told a time or two. But at the same time too, I try to say, like, what is the maximum capacity of this rig, and at least test it out, you know. And that's when I usually end up breaking stuff. I mean, let's say for example, and I know someone out there has already done it or tried it, because I've seen it on a YouTube video. But they get a rift and they do a backflip with it, right? Someone out there saying, oh, is this rig capable of doing a backflip on 4S? And they try it, and then they find out that it breaks, or whatever. Maybe they make it. You know, that's just kind of how I think sometimes when I'm driving my RC. Like, hey, how high up this hill can I get? Hey, how far can I send this rig? Hey, will it land? You know, can I land a double backflip? Whatever it is, right? And I think that's one thing about why I like bashing so much is there's limits that I know people have not tried, and lines that people have not crawled. I mean, you name it. There's a lot of things in this hobby that people haven't done or haven't tried yet. And I like to say, I'm the guy to try that line. I'm the guy to try that impossible task that no one says can be done. You know? Just showing you here. I pulled off a few parts. You can see a little better. But yeah, I'm that guy who just likes to push it to the limit, go big and go home, and see what holds together and what doesn't. I actually go with another guy who's like, I don't know how good of a rig is until it breaks, which, you know, that's one way to look at it. Not necessarily always the right way, but it is one way to look at it. And you can't necessarily blame him for it, but you got to find weak points and improve on them. I mean, that's how this hobby is going to grow, is when people actually test their rigs and say, oh, this is a weak point. We need to upgrade this, or hey, I've done this. You know, it's just like this. If someone had told me a month ago that, hey, use zip ties on your axle housings, maybe this wouldn't have been a thing. You know, maybe I would still be rocking plastic axle housings and life would be good. You know, you just don't know until you try. And so that's really what I'm trying to do with my YouTube videos and stuff, is communicate what I'm doing or trying or what I think works, and just get it out to other people in the hobby and letting them know, like, hey, I tried this, have you tried this, or what works for you. And that's why I'm always like, guys, leave a comment down below, because I don't have a social media account, so this is really my only social media outlet. It's just YouTube, which honestly is still a little too censoring for my personal opinion, but it is a way for me to get out some content and just talk to people about this hobby. So, and like I said, I can't live stream right now. That's why this video is so long, because YouTube says I don't meet the standards for live streaming, which, whatever. I mean, like I said, no big deal to me. Either way, the content that I want to have out there is going to come out, and we're going to have fun doing it. Hopefully get one of these soon in aluminum as well. I actually did break one of these while bashing it the other day. I've since thrown it out, but I just broke it off here. Basically, that's where the metal inside of this ends, is right here, and I just broke it right there. So yes, guys, you can break this as well. Not a bad part though. Buy a set of axle housings for an LMT, you get a free one. You know, chances are you only need this front housing piece, but you get this for the price of $50 as well. So take them both and keep them. Never hurts to have extra parts, guys, ever. I mean, honestly, if I had an extra plastic axle housing lying around, I'd just throw it under a axial SMT build and continue on. So, I'm curious if anyone wants to leave a comment on a new rig they're going to get that they're super excited about and why. And if anyone has any news or information on any other new rigs that hasn't already been released to the media, you should definitely whisper that to me and let me know about it, because I like to know about them. Obviously, Traxxas is going to redesign their Slash and make a drag race car, which, yeah, how cool. I'm not into the drag racing scene personally. I just have no interest in it. I think it's cool to see an RC car do 100 miles an hour, but I can't risk that kind of money into a 100-mile-an-hour crash with an RC car, because I don't care who you are, what kind of car you race, there's a lot of money into it, because the dollar is not cheap anymore. So if you take a really fast car and you crash it and that's the end of it with one hit, nah, not for me. I've seen a lot of the ARMA Limitlesses and ARMA Infractions and Traxxas XO cars smash and explode into a million pieces, and that's just not fun for me personally. So if you do it and you're good at it, more power to you. Make that money, win those drag races. Like I said, drag racing is great, cool, awesomeness, but you risk every time you're going out there to throw away $500 or more. So it's not my cup of tea. But yeah, we'll see what Traxxas puts under their new drag racing car. Obviously, at the end of the day, they would have been just smarter to do a roller chassis kit, in my personal opinion, because everyone's going to build their own motor, setup, whatever. And I think a lot of the sad part is a lot of competitive racers in that scene are using custom carbon fiber chassis. Light weight distribution in that is super important. So I don't know how competitive Traxxas can be in that. Obviously, if they have a stock class or something, then I think maybe Traxxas can be competitive with all the other makes and manufacturers out there that are doing that scene. Yeah. If I did that scene, guys, I would definitely have to find me a Lamborghini body to run on mine. I am a huge Lamborghini fan, and I personally think when it comes to speed and majestic looks, nothing out there beats a Lamborghini. That's just my personal take on it. Also a big Corvette fan, so I could definitely rock a Corvette body. But I would be really cool, and I would rock probably a 1979 Corvette body, because I actually at one point in time owned one of those cars. Or I would have to say like a 1963 Corvette body, Stingray. That for me is probably the sexiest Stingray Corvette ever made. I also do like the Jake Corvette, obviously. If you're a Corvette guy, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you're not a Corvette guy. That's okay. Some people like to ride their ponies and call themselves fast and call themselves Mustang drivers, but we all know in the Corvette world, you don't even hold a candlestick up to a flame. Your flame's already been put out by the draft of the Corvette passing you before you can even say light the fire. So, and another body I would definitely rock if I was really into that scene and I was taking names and stuff, I would rock a 1969 Pontiac GTO body. Yes. In my opinion, that is hands down the best production muscle car ever made. I think that there were so few of them made because basically if there had been a lot of those made, there would have been no competition. I think the Pontiac GTO line is very sad to see what it turned into and how Pontiac just faded away into history. So yeah, Pontiac GTO body would be great. I still think it'd be funny to see someone just rocking like a Lexan Tesla body and just being that guy, because everyone knows that in the real world of drag racing, street racing, whatever it is, really nothing holds up to a Tesla, because you have unlimited power at your throttle. So that would be a good car body to run. When it comes to monster truck bodies, because I'm working on a monster truck, like I said, I'm a big Dodge guy, but I love the Brodozer body. I am a huge advocate of Brodozer, so I'd be rocking that body as well. Which I actually did on my SMT. I actually ordered the J Concepts Brodozer body and ran that body. It was a lot of fun. Well, guys, pretty much the axle housing's all pulled apart here. All the hardware's almost taken out. I have one more screw here. Not paying attention, thinking too much. Trying to think and wrench at the same time is a bit difficult for me. Hence that I'm not a mechanic. But yeah, guys, if you have anything that you would like me to make a video about, as far as like the RC community, or talk about something, any experiences that maybe I've had or that you've had or whatever, leave a comment down below and I'll definitely make a video about it if it's good content, and hopefully get more subscribers, guys, so that one day I could do a live stream and we could just talk as a group community of RC enthusiasts. But in the meantime, I just have to make videos, which there's nothing wrong with that, other than I work a good 45 hours a week kind of thing, so not a lot of time to commit to YouTube. It is what it is. Bills got to be paid, and YouTube's not paying it for me, I'll tell you that right now. But it's just something for me that's fun to do. There it goes. I was going to show you guys the diff, but it fell onto my hairy dog carpet. Yeah, I have a dog, and there's always hair in the carpet, so that is what it is. But yeah, that's how much grease I use, if anyone's wondering. I just use some good old-fashioned marine grease on my gears. They work really great, no problems there. Definitely make sure your stuff is greased so that it doesn't rust out when you go through water puddles. And like I said, everyone's seeing that. That's the inside. I only pull it apart to here because I have to make sure that I don't lose those dog bones and everything. I'm going to have to pull these knuckle pins, which is going to be a lot of fun. Not really, but I'm not going to do that on video. I'll just leave it here for now. And yeah, guys, say goodbye to the plastic axle housing. Hip hip hooray! No more plastic axle housing for my low CLMT. So alright, guys, anyone want to see the update on the Rift? Let me show you the Rift. You'll love this. There's an axial Rift for you. All guts and parts and just mangled greatness. There's my broken housings. There goes a shaft. So, but basically what I'm going to do, guys, with this rig, just because they're readily available, I'm just going with the good old-fashioned AR-60s under it. I really don't care. You can swap out these drive shafts easily into the regular 1/10 scale drive shafts that come on like a Wraith or whatever else. All you gotta do, guys, if anyone's wondering, right in the bottom of this is a set screw. Let me see if I can actually pull it here. Kind of hard to see, a little difficult. I kind of covered this in one of my Rift videos, but I'm just going to show you because I'm making a video right now, and so people will understand and maybe do it themselves. I definitely, like I said, give props to Axial on this. So that is the heavy duty drive shaft that comes on the Rift. It actually goes to a bigger shaft and everything. But this is what's cool about it. So that part there is the same design and everything as like the Wraith or the Bomber. So all you gotta do is pull off this fatter tube, bigger drive shaft, and thread on the smaller one, and it goes right on there, no problems. So they kept this the same, and then the output shaft obviously on your diff is a bigger output shaft than your Wraith. But like I said, if for any reason you were running this and you stripped this out and you needed to replace these and you had regular, you know, axle SMT or whatever, Wraith, Bomber, etc., you can just throw those on here and be back up in business. So that's a really cool thing. Like I said, I'm not too worried about pulling that apart because this rig currently is just nothing but parts and shambles until I either decide to get some aluminum axle housings or buy me a set of nice aluminum AR-60s. So, well guys, I definitely appreciate you watching this video. It's kind of long, kind of short, a lot of rambling in between here and there, a lot of random topics, but that's okay because that's how we do it at Skinner's Shenanigans YouTube channel. Nothing wrong with being random and just talking about random stuff. So, there we go guys, we're gonna wrap it up there. Like I said, I could ramble and talk about RC stuff all night long, but we'll leave it with this question: who can tell me what this is off of and why I have it? Do you know what this is off of? Anyways guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. If this content sucks, well, too bad. Keep watching it, put a smile on your face, and hopefully, if nothing else, I gave you some tips and pointers and RC knowledge in this video somehow, some way, some shape, or some form, and you like it and come back and watch more. Thanks guys so much. Have a great rest of your week, and until my next video comes out, who never knows when that can be or will be, keep RCing, keep having fun out there. And most importantly, it's only fun if you make it fun and get out there and RC. So, get out there, RC. Quit watching my YouTube channel. Go out and RC.